If you've ever wondered why your wildlife photos look soft or slightly blurry, the reason is almost always your shutter speed. And today I'll show you the settings that help to guarantee sharper photos. Welcome back to Tips Tuesday. Each week I share one photography tip that helps to improve your wildlife photography out in the field. This week we're starting with possibly one of the most important settings to master for wildlife photography, and that is shutter speed. Now, why is this so important? Because wildlife is constantly moving. Even when a subject looks still, they are typically always moving. Think a bird perched on a branch. It looks like it's still, but actually that branch could be moving. The bird is moving, it's turning its head, it's ruffling its feathers. An animal is grazing in the field. Yes, it's relatively still, but there's still movement there. You need to make sure that your camera is set to have a fast enough shutter speed to be able to freeze that motion. Otherwise, you're going to end up with motion blur in your images. And this softness can appear even when your autofocus is perfect. Now I'm going to share some guidelines that I think about in my head as I'm setting up for a shot that'll help you get a good benchmark for where to set your shutter speed depending on what your subject is doing. For subjects that are still, a good place to start is about 1/500th of a second. Go a little bit faster if you're photographing small birds. For subjects that are moving, go up to 1/1000th of a second. That'll help you capture that motion, freeze that motion for most subjects if there's any kind of movement. And then if there's even more movement, think birds in flight, anything like that, you're going to need an even faster shutter speed. So go up to about 1/2000th of a second or higher to freeze that motion. The most important concept is the smaller the subject you're photographing, the faster your shutter speed is going to need to be to freeze any motion that that subject has. Now obviously there's trade-off to this, right? So as you increase your shutter speed, you're also going to need to increase your ISO. So you're going to need to have a good amount of light in order to increase your shutter speed. Don't be afraid to raise your ISO to higher levels, because a sharper image that has a lot of noise is always better than a clean image that is not sharp because of motion blur. If you're photographing during a day that the light is just constantly changing, one tip you can do is set your ISO to auto. This allows you to pick the shutter speed based on what your subject is doing, and then your camera automatically adjusts ISO to get proper exposure, and you're able to have the correct shutter speed to freeze the motion. So remember, still subjects, 1/500th of a second. If the subject is moving, move up to 1/1000th of a second. And if you're trying to photograph a bird in flight, go up to 1/2000th of a second or higher to be able to freeze that motion. Now remember, these are just places to start, just benchmarks to think about if you don't know where to start for your shutter speed. But they give you a really good starting point where you can then increase or decrease your shutter speed based on the situation. Next week, we're going to build on this, talking about autofocus, because sharpness in images doesn't just come from shutter speed. Autofocus and getting the proper focus is crucial as well. If this was helpful, give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's Tips Tuesday, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what wildlife you're trying to photograph out in the field. I love to hear from you, and I read all my comments. Until then, I'll see you next Tuesday.